Hello, I'm Peter Fender. Welcome to 5 Minute Masterworks. This is about Lili Boulanger. Lili Boulanger was born into a musical family with an important connection to the Paris Conservatoire. Her father taught there and her mother studied singing there. Music was in the air in their Parisian home, and Madame Boulanger used to put on musical soirées to which came the great and the good of the French music scene, people like the composers Gounod, Massenet, Fauré. Indeed, when Fauré discovered what an incredible sight reader Lili was, when she was just 5 or 6 years old, he would come round to the house and run through some of his own songs with her, he on the piano, she singing. At the Paris Conservatoire there was a prize called the Prix de Rome, and winners were sent to Rome for several years to the French Academy there to write specific works which were to be sent back to Paris. Lili's father, Ernest Boulanger, had won the prize back in 1835, and Lili's big sister, Nadia, had entered for it on several occasions, coming second in 1908. In 1912, aged 18, Lili entered for the Prix de Rome, but illness prevented her from completing the competition. She had had bronchial pneumonia at the age of just 2, and this had seriously compromised her immune system and left her in a weak state for the rest of her life. The following year she entered the competition again and she won. The Prix was very exacting, the final round requiring the finalists to live in seclusion for about a month whilst completing a cantata, that year to be set to a text of Faust, which she called Faust and Helen. It's half an hour of fine operatic-like music with clear influences from, amongst others, Wagner and Debussy. She displayed very advanced skills in writing for both voices and orchestra, which led Debussy himself to comment that the cantata belied her age. Others in Paris commented more on the fact that this was the first time a woman had won the prize in music. Particularly in her teenage years and her early 20s, Lili became increasingly unwell until in 1918 she died, aged just 24 years. It was a painful and protracted process. Today it is thought that she died from Crohn's disease. Nonetheless, the very year she died, she was still writing music and wrote an orchestral piece called De Matin de Printemps. Carefree, happy music with sparkling sunlight shimmering on the water, echoes of Ravel perhaps. Its sister piece, D'un Soir Triste, was written just afterwards. This, also for orchestra, shares similar melodic material with its sibling, but uses it in a dramatically different manner. It starts darkly, utilising a mixture of low sounds to depict gloom. Nadia once said about her sister Lili, "I believe that her talent was rooted in her first knowledge of grief. When our father died, she was 6 years old, and at 6 she understood what death was. It is the grief of surviving someone you love." In this piece, complex harmonies surround the melodies. It's grand, it's atmospheric, it's like a great impressionist painting, sometimes tender and sad, and at other times almost sinister. The two pieces make an irresistible concert pairing. These were the last 2 pieces that Lili wrote in her own hand, and in the second piece, D'un Soir Triste, her handwriting was failing. Nadia helped by adding and altering some parts. Her final piece, a small and beautifully formed Pie Jesu, was dictated to Nadia. Most discussions of Lili Boulanger begin by saying that she died tragically at the age of 24 and continue to wonder what other great music she might have written if she had lived longer. We do this with others, of course. What if Beethoven had written his 10th symphony, Mahler his 11th, etc., etc.? The problem with this what if question is that it deflects our thoughts away from what actually happened to what might have happened. In the words of Christopher Palmer, what really counted was not Lili, a composer who might have been, but one who very definitely was. Other pieces I highly recommend of Lili Boulanger's are her 3 psalm settings of Psalms 24, 129 and 130, and her song cycle Clairière dans le ciel. There are others. Listen to her music and you will hear her sense of purpose, her discipline, her concentration, her enthusiasm, her ability to utter poetry through sound and to paint like the great Impressionists with sound. She deserves more airplay.